Hello YouTube fans, welcome. Thank you for joining me today and checking out my channel if you have not been here before. Welcome. I'm going to do a reading as the title said on your deceased loved one or relative or ancestor or friend or whomever this could be for you. If this story is not yours, you don't recognize it, don't make it fit. There are a lot of good readers out there, so just as always, as you hear all of us say, take what resonates. If it's not your story, don't try to make it fit. Okay, I'm shuffling and I already have somebody coming through today, but before I get on there, please hit that like button and comment. I try to answer all of my comments as time permits. Or subscribe if you'd like to see more of this kind of content. That is so important because, number one, I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm just getting started here on YouTube. And more importantly, when you click on a video or hit that like button, it tells YouTube, hey, this is pretty good content. Let's share it to more people so it broadens the audience. And that's important because these messages are very narrow and it will help it reach the people and the family who this is meant for. So I'm very grateful and I'm trying to make these videos on a more consistent basis. So who knows, might be reading for you next time. I don't know, but moving on. Thank you for letting me get all that out of the way. I had some cards pop out in the pre-shuffle, not these actually, they were before this, that contributed to the story, and I have a pretty good sense of what's happening or what happened here even before some of these cards started falling out. So as many of you know, I like to take flyer cards, so that's why I'm just sitting here shuffling and watching what comes out. So the persons, plural, I'm bringing through today is a mother and it feels like a daughter, a young daughter. And it was interesting because the daughter is like grabbing the mother by the hand. She's dragging her arms behind her, dragging mother who's behind her also, and she's kind of rushing in to me visually. And like pulling the mom. The mom is in the shadows. She wants to stay in the shadows. She doesn't want to come forward. And this child is just grabbing her by the hand and saying, come on, mommy, come on, come on. So clearly the child wants to talk. The mother is quite reluctant. But nevertheless, I am getting a clearer picture here. So I feel like this message is for the family of these two left behind, specifically, I believe, a father. I believe it was this child's father or parental role. Let me leave it at that. Doesn't necessarily mean you were married, but it feels like this is her father. Hang on, y'all. Let me take my bracelet off. I think it's banging on the table and making a racket. Don't need any of that. So the story I'm getting is this woman, when you, meaning the living person, met this woman. She was lovely. I think you fell in love. I think you invested in each other and things were going smooth. And then she would have bouts of retreating. Now that could be physically, that especially feels mentally and emotionally. And I think in the beginning you didn't maybe give it a lot of concern. You just wanted to continue the relationship with her, which you did. But then in time you realized there was something not right. You realized something was not normal. And fast forward, I'm not sure if this woman, because I'm not a clinical therapist, psychologist, doctor of any sort, not a medical professional at all, but the way this energy feels to me is that this woman had some kind of a mental disability. I'm going to call it that. It could be mental illness, but it feels like just severe bouts of depression and severe bouts of wanting to retreat and not talk to anyone, and she just was basically not able to function when she would get into these states. So there's a lot of clinical names you might put on that. I don't know what they are. Like as I said, I'm not a professional, but she would go to this dark place. Let's put it that way. And I think you just got to the point where you couldn't deal with it anymore. So what I'm not, again, I'm not clear if you are the biological father of this child, or maybe you were just in a relationship with this woman and this child was from a previous relationship she had had, but she looked to you as her parental role model, as the father figure, so to speak. In fact, you could be the grandparent. I do see that as a possibility, but it doesn't feel like you, the viewer, the person this is meant for, it doesn't feel like you were that old, unless I don't know, she could have been younger when this happened. But anyway, this came to I want to say a point where you broke up with her, okay? You were, or in the process, maybe she's correcting me, maybe you were in the process of either divorcing, or you had just moved away or moved out, or were leaving her life and you were breaking up with her, or had just broken up with her. And she went from bad to worse in this spiral. So I get an energy of her. It's so hard for me to get, I want to get this right. The first energy I got when she came in was that she took someone else's life. And at first I thought it was maybe this family person over here, she murdered someone over here. And while that could be possible, it feels more to me like she might have taken this child's life and then took her own. So it more feels like that than anything else. It feels like because this child is coming to me, and there is no forgiveness needed. I mean, she's just totally beautifully whole. She's not, stuck in any, in two worlds, as somebody who sometimes people who die a violent death, like from murders or accidents, sometimes they don't fully realize that they have crossed over and they get stuck, or they're resistant, or they're holding on for the family left behind, those kinds of things. But this child is not giving me that energy at all. She is crossed over, she's happy, she's fine, and she's acknowledging that she knew about this when she signed on. This was a soul contract that she had with this woman before she signed on, before she came into this incarnation, okay? So she has no ill feelings, reticence about any of this. She's simply, however, it's like she's the more mature soul of these two. This child is, her soul. Now remember, we're talking about a soul here, not a physical person, but she, on the soul level, is more mature than the woman who was her mother that she's bringing through. And mature, I mean spiritually mature. She is saying the reason she came into this lifetime, knowing that this was going to happen, was to help this woman mature spiritually, was to hopefully give her something to live for, to get her out of this depressive state and this energy that weighed her down. And I think she made a little progress for a while, but then ultimately it didn't obviously end that way. So the woman is stepping more toward me now, and she just is giving me this feeling. Y'all, I'm sorry, the cards are here. I'm just talking. I know nothing to look at here. And I'll get, this is also telling me the story. So I'm combining, if you've never been here before, should have started with this. I combine the tarot with what I'm being brought from my guides in terms of who's coming through. So these cards do not always, I don't always interpret them literally like you might see in a love reading, for example. They're just, I get different meanings from these than you might think. So don't look to these to be literal necessarily. Anyway, she's giving me this feeling of remorse, regret, sadness, just guilt even. Yes, that's the word. Thank you. Guilt about what she did. Not just to this child, but she's being very clear. This guilt is felt over the damage, the collateral damage, the people left behind, and specifically this parental father figure here that was left behind. She's just giving me, this immense, oh, I'm so sorry, she can't even get the words out kind of feeling that it's just very, very heavy, and like, it feels in this moment like she's going to bear this for lifetimes to come. And while, a fraction of that is true, she will get the opportunity to rectify this in her future lives, of course. We all do. That's why we keep coming back. And when I get someone in like this that's troubled, part of what will lighten the energy for them is to know you have gotten this message. They've come through to talk to you, to tell you they're sorry, to tell you they really feel so badly about how they left this and what happened and that kind of thing, where they didn't have the clear perspective when they left necessarily. They certainly do once they get to the other side. So that's why she's able to step forward. She wants you to know that, and she knows that's going to lift her burden, lift her energy, frankly, lift the energy level so that she can progress more easily. Yes, and as I look at the bottom of the deck, there's the Death card, which to me represents transformation in this context. It's transforming this energy, literally transmuting energy when these readings come through like that. Yes, thank you, Spirit. They're backing it. Yeah, this whole story is just backing up what I just said. She representing the Queen of Cups here, or it could be you, but this person just couldn't find balance in life. They just kept juggling the dark and the light, mostly the dark, and it's where they ended up, of course. And then this card is pictures worth 1,000 words, couldn't bear it any longer and moved on, took her life and apparently the child's life, and moved on because they just couldn't, they couldn't bear these choppy waters anymore. They stole away to take their love, and this card was originally, it's the Lovers, but it was originally called the Choice. And she made a choice. And so now she's saying, but because of that choice, she's coming through today to communicate. Oh, goodness, yes. And that she's now going to be able to move on. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. That's a gift from me. She's now going to move on and become more, elevate her energy. The Empress is, of course, the most beautiful to me. Maybe it's oversimplification to say the most beautiful energy, female energy in the deck, but it is. And now she feels like she can take a new opportunity, which in me, in this context, means come back in a new life with a lightened energy. Whew, that's a lot, Spirit. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add to this reading? Let me see if there's anything down here that I got carried away with what she was telling me, and I didn't really focus on the cards, but yeah, I think, let's see, is there something with, here, let me keep shuffling. There may be a little, I feel like there's something else. yet to be revealed. Although I don't have a crystal ball. Oh, goodness. All right, come on. Show me what this message is. I know there's, I feel it. I feel it. All right, come on. Oh, that's it? Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, well, there it is. I probably can stop there, but I'll pull one more. There we go. All right, thank you, Spirit. Perfect. Yeah, I feel like this card is often the Five of Swords. It depends on the context and the type of reading, for example, what we're doing today. But I feel like this means, rather, she acted selfishly. She's recognizing that she acted selfishly. This can be winning at all costs is one of the meanings of this card. But now she feels like she understands. She feels like she's moved more toward balance, but she recognizes there is and will be karma, and she's acknowledging that. But justice and balance, and then of course this card typically means victory, but victory after a very long battle. In her case, struggle is the word she's giving me. So all of this is just saying, and let me see what's under and the Death card came back after all that shuffling, y'all. I can't make this up. The Death card came back. So she's just, as a reader, and look, this whole thing that was there, I promised y'all I was shuffling. I did shuffle. I did. You saw me, right? You saw me shuffling, and these cards came back. So she's saying, by virtue of me bringing this reading, this is not about me, I'm just saying this is how this process can work. When these people have the opportunity to come through and you're open to hearing this message, and hopefully this will get to the person that needs to hear it. It shifts energy, y'all. It just does. I mean, we think in such a three-dimensional way, but it truly does shift energy, and everything is about energy. So I'm getting this message that that's what this is about. This whole bringing her through, but this child bringing her, kind of tugging, bringing her through here is enabling a transformation for her. She's going to be able to put down one of these pentacles now and move on. Yeah, and she can take the high ground now. She can, this can be defending the high ground, but that's not exactly what I'm getting here. It's more about being able to elevate on a soul level, because now she's been able to because this message has been delivered, to elevate her soul and have more self-love for herself. And then the Lover's card, I can't believe that whole thing came back. Good gracious. And I swear, I did shuffle. Wow, just repeating. So Spirit is giving me information as a reader that, because the messages are just coming back. The cards are repeating now. Yeah, she understands. And I feel like this Lover's card is about, the message I'm getting here is reuniting her soul, like her soul was feeling, and maybe it was literally split. There is a thing. And that she's feeling united now. She's feeling like she can integrate and move on. She's making a choice. Wow, that's unbelievable. That whole thing came back. Anyway, so we will leave it on that note. Thank you again for listening, if you stayed to the end. And also, just a reminder, please hit that like button. Again, it helps my channel grow, and it helps these messages get out to the families who are meant to hear them. Thank you all so very much. I wish you many blessings, and I'll be back soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.